Before we begin today, please be aware that today's episode contains detailed discussions of domestic violence, including references to sexual assault and murder. If these topics are distressing or triggering for you, please take care while listening and consider seeking support if needed. Well, welcome back to Leading Our Own Way. Today, I'm joined by the beautiful Kellie Carter-Bell, a woman whose story is as raw as it is inspiring. For 23 years, Kellie endured the darkness of domestic violence, battled the weight of mental health struggles, and faced the echoes of childhood trauma. Yet, through every setback, she found the courage to rise, to advocate, and to rebuild. In our chat today, it's an amazing chat. She puts a great spin on everything. Kellie doesn't just recount hardship. She shines a light on the path to healing, the necessity of community, and the transformative power of self-love. This isn't just a story of survival. Hell no. It's a story of hope, growth, and the relentless pursuit of joy. This is a happy story. It's not a sad one. It's not a sad story. If Kellie's journey resonates, please share this episode to reach out to someone who might need to hear her message today. Remember, your story matters too. Here's Kellie and myself right after the trailer. And this is a 2-part episode here, Monday and Wednesday. And don't forget Tuesday Truths tomorrow. Anyway, here's Kellie and myself. Welcome to Leading Our Own Way. I'm your host, Andrew White, and this is the podcast that unveils captivating narratives of resilience and personal triumph. This podcast is for anyone seeking inspiration and insights on overcoming life's challenges. Follow and subscribe, and then we can lead together forever. Before we dive in, I want to give a big, massive shout out to our now new proud sponsor, Eshu Skincare, a brand that truly aligns with Leading Our Own Way. This Australian-born company is dedicated to keeping skincare simple, effective, and straightforward. They've made waves in the US, even landed in Macy's and over 300 stores, and now they're back with a renewed focus on healthy skin and real results. If you want authentic skincare that fits your lifestyle, check them out in the show notes. Thanks to Eshu Skincare for supporting real stories and mental fitness on Leading Our Own Way. And if you're interested in sponsoring like Eshu Skincare, drop us a message. We'd love to connect. Kellie Carter-Bell, welcome to Leading Our Own Way. Thanks for joining me. How are you this evening?
I'm very well. Thank you, Andy. It's a privilege to be here, and I'm looking forward to sharing my story with you and hopefully saving some lives.
That you definitely will, is save some lives. And first of all, it's a thank you to you, to be fair, Kellie, for wanting, and it's an honour for you to share your journey on my podcast, on my journey, this, because this podcast is part of my journey, and I appreciate you, sharing it alongside of us, because it's been a hell of a journey. You have one incredible, powerful journey that I think would shock the world, if I'm honest. And it's I just want to say thank you for being vulnerable tonight. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes, it is. It's an interesting story and one that needs to be told.
Absolutely. Before we go into your story, then, if you on a scale of 0 to 10 of your mental health scale right now, as tonight here in Melbourne, Australia, 0 being rock bottom and 10 being content, where would you say you sit on that scale right now?
I'm an 11.
Ooh.
I have come a long way. I love me. I love my life. I have let my children in to love me, and that has that's changed things dramatically in my life and the way I live. Yeah. I've done a lot of work, and it's been a long, hard slog, but I often call myself the chosen one, so that's why I say I'm an 11, because I've been chosen to go through this journey and come out of the other side and, show people what's possible when you put in them hard yards.
Absolutely. And I think when people hear not nitty gritty, but when people hear the darkness that you've been through, they'll realise she wasn't wrong. She's definitely the chosen one.
Yes.
100%. If I'd asked where you're going to take us tonight in the next 75 minutes or so, where on that scale would you have dropped down to on that 0 to 10?
Oh, below zero. I I suffered 23 years domestic violence all up,
Yeah.
and when my last partner left me, I tried to take my life, and I am the mother of 5 children.
Yeah.
So that's how low I got. Thank goodness I didn't succeed.
So that minus, if you that minus below that scale of rock bottom, where you can always chip away at that rock bottom, can't we? We can always find a deeper rock bottom. When we say we hit rock bottom, we can always
Yeah,
get a bit deeper, can't we? We can
yeah.
always. What would that have been? The pinnacle of your depth is the end in your own life, even worse than some of the scenarios I know you're going to share tonight, which is, shocks the core of me. Would you
Yes.
say that's the rock for you then?
That was the rock bottom. That's what I needed. That
Yeah.
was my moment to turn it all around.
So for those who are, wondering where we're going to go, apart from that then being your rock, what got you to that rock bottom, if you could put it into a sentence?
Okay. Now that we have a lot of words for it, as in the coercive control, the love bombing, the control, the consuming your life by the partner, I thought I was a worthless piece of trash that didn't need to be on this planet, and my kids deserve better,
Why did you feel like that though?
because that's what 23 years domestic violence does to you.
Hmm.
It 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 just chips away at your being, and it makes you feel like you do not have a place on this planet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's me doing this podcast, I meet incredible people like yourself all the time, and the more we open up about our individual journeys, and I've had other guests on the show around domestic violence, even today at somewhere I've been working, they were aware of somebody in their life who had been through domestic violence. And so I shared part of you with that person
Beautiful.
today of what I was going to be doing this evening, right?
Thank
And
you.
yeah, of course, absolutely. But my point is, we feel so isolated when we go through these things, but in reality, it's happening quite a lot. And that's the beauty of why you're doing what you're doing tonight with me, is that we can share the love, create a vulnerable space, and create a space where other people can go, hell no, this is happening to me. I need to do something about it. If Kelly can do it, I've got to get inspiration from, and that's the whole point of the episode, isn't
That's
it?
my passion.
Yeah.
That's my passion, for people to hear this story, see me, and think, wow, anything's possible. I'm not saying it's easy, it's hard, and recovery is every day, but it's bloody worth it.
Yeah.
It really is.
I've known you for a few months now, and you're the reason why I've changed part of my bio on my Instagram and social media platforms. Anyone who's noticed the last few months, because we filmed this in December, and this probably won't air till March time, but you
Yep.
will have noticed on my social media I've changed my part of my purpose, and it's this is from you, Kelly, and I've stolen, and I told you first I was
You
stealing it.
told me, yes.
But I want to, and the podcast is perfect for that. And I'm going to get into your mission in a second. But part of your purpose is to help people when you're asleep. And
Yes.
I never, ever heard that before. And I know I will ask you that question at the end, because that's part of how we close the show. But I
Yes.
just like, wow, that's stuck with, I kind of ruined it already, I suppose. We should just end the episode right now. But that's stuck with me. And I feel like I can do that with the podcast. If people are listening when I'm asleep and we're changing lives, how beautiful is that? I mean, doctors can't do that.
No. And I hear a lot of people say, I want to be making money while I'm sleeping. And yeah, that's this is my 8th podcast, and that's what I see. I can be asleep and people can be listening all around the world.
Yeah.
And I do get messages from people all around the world who have listened to my podcast, and people telling me that I've saved their lives, or fathers telling me that they've had their daughters listen to the podcasts.
Amazing.
And yeah, so that's why I do what I do. And yeah, I want to be saving lives while I'm sleeping.
Love it. Well, Give it to me, Kellie. You're leading your own way. That's how we start off. We start in a really happy place. You're leading your own way in many ways. You're on a bit of a mission. Tell us
Yeah.
about your mission.
Okay. So I take a lot of pride in myself. I always knew that there was something more for me from a young child. Going through, I had my first black eye at 13, my last black eye at 36, and so much darkness in between them 23 years. But I think having my mother's strength, I've lost 3 sisters to heroin. So my mother lost 3 daughters, and she stayed on this planet for another 29 years for me. Yeah, my dad, a very, very clever man, but wasn't in my life from the years of 8 until about 50, I think. He's been in my life for 7 years. There was always little glimmers of things when I was growing up, thinking, I'm going to change this one day. I'm going to change it. I didn't know how or why I needed to, but I knew that I had a bigger purpose than being a victim.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So what do you do now then to be an advocate for domestic violence and those people out there that need you?
Yeah. So I speak to anyone who will listen. I get the conversation started. I do keynote speaking. I speak for there's an organisation called the She Matters organisation. I speak for them. I've spoken at a few rallies. I've spoken to politicians. Yeah, anyone that will listen, I get that topic up because I think I've got a gift, and the gift is the courage to speak. And I often say I'm the voice for the voiceless. When I walk in marches or rallies or things like that, I hold a sign that says, "He tried to kill me, and now I speak loud for those who can't." And I feel like it's my job. I've been given the courage. I've been through the depths of despair and darkness and some things that people probably couldn't even imagine. And I have this bright, bright, I don't know, a bright light inside me that just has the will to want to give to people and make a difference in their lives.
Yeah. And have you ever met anybody through your discussions and your public speaking and the people that are willing to hear you? Has anyone come out to you and shared their journey and it's been the same but different, or you've connected with somebody because of how similar your journeys are?
Oh, definitely. Yes, definitely. A lot of women. Yeah, a lot of women. We're all different, and I often say it doesn't matter whether you were hit once or, you've gone through it like me. The way these perpetrators work are very incredibly clever. There could be a book written on, what they do, because I find that it's usually probably 6 weeks in, the house might get smashed up. And next, I've heard, and for me, the example was, you are smashed up next. And the love bombing in their first 6 weeks is just incredible. They know how to manipulate you and make you believe their words.
Yeah. So, I mean, on that, then we should probably, for anyone who's tuning in and is feeling, when something's not sitting right in somebody's life, but they might be not used to that term. Like you said before, we've got words for it now, haven't we? We've got language for
Yes.
it. Through my own personal journey, even when I was in the midst of things, I never heard of the word gaslighting before.
No.
I'm fully aware of, and I know gaslighting can involved with domestic violence and
Yes.
bullying, even with friendships, colleagues, and so on. For
Yes.
anyone who's tuning in and isn't aware of these words, could you maybe explain now then what love bombing is, and for them to be able to relate, going, oh, actually that might be me. Actually, this might be happening to me. Not that we want to confuse them, because we don't
No.
want to make something that's not actually there at the same time. But yeah, could you explain maybe to those viewers who are questioning themselves? And
Yes. Okay. So, with my ex-husband, um, he was in jail when I met him. And within 2 weeks, I was consumed by him. And people say, "What do you mean he was in prison?" So I was to write a letter every day. We were on the phone, every day. Um, he needed to know what I was doing every minute of every day. But I thought that was because he loved me and I was special and he's just looking out for my best interests. Um, and how could someone fall for you so quick? Wow, that's pretty special. I must be pretty special. Um, and then with my last partner, he was a lot younger than me. He was a very good looking guy. He's not now because of the person he is. Um, Within 2 weeks, he was living with me. And I just thought, oh, wow, how magic is this? I finally found the one kind of thing. And, my ex partner tried to kill me, literally. And within 4 years, I was with another man and I had black eyes, every week. So I thought a black eye was full of love. So the words, the actions, the manipulation, like I said, there could be a book written on the way these perpetrators, criminals work, because it's very similar when you speak to other survivors or people who are stuck in it. That the I love you comes very quickly. And just the feeling special and, maybe giving you presents and, taking you to dinner. And when you come from where we come from, that feels like love. So yeah, there's words, there's actions, there's quite a few things that love bombing can have, um, and it's just really like when you don't know any better, it just makes you feel magic. It
yeah,
makes you feel loved.
because there's a
And
hole already existing, and it fills it, doesn't it? But
yes,
it's the wrong way of filling that hole, I suppose.
exactly. Especially when you don't know any better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they seem to know who to pick. They seem to know the vulnerable people that will put up with this behaviour.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to lead on with that. To be fair, is it from that angle? Do you think, or is it the psychology more from from the victim side? In this scenario, being you, you said you separated for somebody who treated you like a piece of dirt and a piece of shit, but the next person also gave you black eyes. Is there some psychology behind that where you're attracting the same energy?
I just think I don't attracting is, yeah, probably because we're very vulnerable and they can pick that out.
Yeah,
Um and just not knowing better and feeling that that is love. Um Yeah, they seem to know when you're very vulnerable and down, and what you will put up with. I had, like I said, my first black eye at 13. I've had three sisters that have died because of heroin.
yeah.
And I watched them be beaten. I watched my mum be beaten, not by my father, but by their father. So to me, that black eye at 13 was literally a high five moment. I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I'm loved. I've joined the club.
It's
That's how,
normalized.
yes,
Yeah,
very. very. My sisters were treated very, very, very not like humans because of the drug abuse and the men that chose them or they chose. Yeah, I remember waking up when I was about 13 years old. Yeah, because I was getting beaten at that time. Um, we lived in flats in Carlton, and I could hear my sister screaming, and got up and look out the window, and I thought I seen her boyfriend bashing her, and I just rolled over and went back to sleep. That's how
Fuck.
normal it was to me.
How,
My mum, broken jaws, broken noses, sitting at the window waiting to see if he was going to be drunk when he come home, and that would have been me at 4 years old, witnessing them things. And then my sisters went down the same road. I don't think there was one sister that had a lovely partner, and that's about all I can think of. Yeah, but that was just really, really normal to me. So
it's hard
I
to,
believed, yeah, a black eye was full of love.
yeah, I mean, sitting in, from my point of view, it's really, really hard to imagine how that is normalised. And obviously, I think the majority of us would think that, but there's other people who go, no, I totally get it. And I totally sense that. But how do we even realise that's wrong then? How do we come out of that? What's the tipping point? I know we're going to get into your journey, but
Yeah.
if somebody is listening and it'll become clear of your tipping point, the people who are listening going through it, what signs, what's the tipping point for them to make a change and not let it go 23 years like it did for you?
Okay. Love shouldn't hurt.
Yeah, clear
That's
message. Yeah,
one of the answers. And if it hurts, it's probably not love. When you're being isolated, you're told your friends aren't good for you. You can't have male friends. Um, that is probably something that, if that's happening to you, that is part of coercive control. That is part of domestic violence. You might not have a black eye, but
yeah.
that does not mean that it's not abuse.
It can start there, can't it?
Yes, exactly. And like I said, it's usually the house gets smashed up is a big sign, is a big, big, big sign. There's more to come, and it will be you next.
And I mean, let's talk about the aggressors for a second, the people who are conducting this type of behaviour.
The criminals.
The criminals, great word, yeah. But, those people in your life, and obviously the people that have come to you to share their journeys, you might see a connection in the root of this. Is it usually from their childhood and what they've been through and what they've seen in their life? Not conducting any, I'm not saying this is right at all, but I'm just saying,
Yep.
is there a pattern that you've noticed with the men in your life of where they've come from and their backgrounds?
Yeah, I find a lot of people I speak to, and my examples were that a lot of them are mummy's boys.
Oh,
Yep. And mummy thinks, oh no, my son wouldn't do that. For my 3 criminal perpetrators,
yeah.
they were mummy's boys. I hear it from a lot of stories that when I'm speaking to survivors or people that are stuck, um, I don't think it can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Domestic violence does not discriminate. Abuse does not discriminate. So it doesn't matter if you're living in a $1 million mansion or you're living in a commission house, as I do. It does not discriminate. It doesn't matter what colour your skin is, what country you come from, how old you are, your background, your job. Yeah, it doesn't discriminate. It comes in all shapes and sizes. So, but I do think these perpetrator criminals know what to look for
Yeah,
for
certainly.
their next or their victims or their next victims.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
It's just a huge it's a big disconnect to the world, isn't it?
it is. It really is. And when you think 1 in 4, I walk along the street and I go 1, 2, 3, 4. It might not be that house. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Working at the op shop, I have had a lot of women come in And like I've changed their lives, I've changed their lives.
Oh, nice.
It's really heartwarming for me to be able to do that. I spoke at a Mother's Day vigil in at Hosier Lane, where all the women's photos are that have been murdered, and I actually left my sign there. And he tried to kill me, and I speak loud for those who can't, and I put my name on it. I left it there on a Saturday night, and I got a message on a Tuesday, and a lady told me by reading that sign, I just saved her life. So you just by reading that and knowing that there's someone there that will speak for her, because we don't have a voice. We don't have a voice. And a few years ago, they started putting commercials on television about this stuff. And I said, that stuff can kill people. Them commercials can kill people. I remember when they were on once, and my last abuser come in, and it was on the television, and he said, "Don't get any fucking ideas, will you?" So, I taught Centrelink I was in a conference, to never, ever, ever ask, why don't you just leave? It is the worst question in the world. But unfortunately, some people that ask that question have your best intentions at heart. And if I had a spare 3 days, Andy, I'd tell you why you can't just leave. What will be said by the time I leave this planet is, what can I do to help you get out safely? Yeah. Now, if someone had said that to me 20 years ago, I would have thought to myself, what are you talking about safely? He bashes me because he loves me.
Yeah.
So that why don't you leave, in my opinion, and a lot of opinion of people that I've spoken to, is if you ask me that, okay, you're off my list of people I can trust. You have just judged me. I feel like a piece of shit in the gutter, and you're asking me, why don't I just leave? Where am I going to go? We have to run from the house. The perpetrator's not taken away, or he might be at the police station for 4 hours, and God help you if you ring the police, because that beating you get when they get back, that fucking hurts. That actually really hurts. Now, I suffered for 23 years, and it wasn't until my ex-husband tried to take my life that I rang the police. So, it's just a no, that question. So I hope that helps.
I think it definitely does. And it aligns with another podcast episode I did with Catherine Pascoe. I don't know if you've come across Catherine. She was a former guest with mine, and her partner just went out a few weeks ago, actually, Sean, and Sean Faygold. His story is completely different, but she said the exact same thing. Never ask that question. Never say that, because you just feel like a complete piece of shit, even somebody just saying that because her friends would say the same thing, right? Yeah. And it's not easy, is it? You changed your life 17 months ago, give or take, probably more, 18 months ago now, since we did the pre-chat. But where were you at 18 months ago?
I was an alcoholic.
Just taking a very quick break to thank our sponsor, SU Skincare. If you haven't heard of them, SU Skincare started right here in Australia, using Australian ingredients to make skincare straightforward and accessible, especially for men who want results without the fuss. Their journey took them all the way to the US, where they were featured in Macy's and over 300 stores. Now they're back with a fresh approach, focusing on healthy skin and authenticity for everyone. I'm proud to have SU Skincare as a sponsor on Leading Our Own Way. See the show notes for their website and to see how you can keep your skin healthy and confident. And if you're interested in sponsoring like SU Skincare, drop us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Now, right back to the episode.
Not a lot of people knew. My poor children knew, because I was a hermit in my bedroom. I'd go and do my cleaning jobs and do what I had to do, but I had to have my beer at night.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would say to me, "What do you mean you're an alcoholic and you don't drink till night?" Well, your body doesn't know what time it is, does it? I had to have them beers. And yes, it was just the other day on the 9th. That was 18 months. I worked with a coach. Yeah, I know, it's unbelievable. Saved over $8,000. Probably spent it all on Versace, but that's my guilty pleasure.
That's okay.
I work with a coach called Big Chocky, and I never thought I'd be able to do it in a million years. And yeah, there was just one night he said, "You got any beers in the house?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, you're not going to get any more." So I used to buy a slab of beer, the liquor lounge just around the corner, and I would only take 6 beers at a time. So I didn't drink any more than 6 beers.
Yeah.
And at this stage, I still had a dozen beers at Liquorland, and I walked past for 3 months, and I did not go in and get them beers. And I went in one day, and they go, "Oh my God, the CEO of Carlton United Brewery's been looking for you." You know, he wasn't. It was just a joke.
No, of
But
course.
I was literally paying his mortgage.
Yeah.
And I said to them, "I don't drink anymore." And they said, "But you've got a dozen beers here." And I said, "Yeah, I know, but I don't drink anymore." And he said, "Well, let's give you a refund." So, yeah, I've never looked back. And what's happened is it was really, really tough at the start, because we'll get into, unfortunately, the sexual abuse.
Yeah.
But that all come flooding back to me, and I couldn't eat, because when I was putting things in my mouth,
Yeah.
it felt like a man was in my mouth.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't working with a coach then, I would be sculling bottles of vodka by now, because I couldn't understand where's all this coming from. I've dealt with all this, but quite obviously the alcohol hides it all.
It was
And
numbing it.
that's, yes, yeah. But I got over the not eating, which is great. But it took a long time. I went and did a retreat just for a weekend, and that was sort of going back to little Kellie Sue, and yeah, just looking out for her, and protecting her, and letting her know the things that happened were definitely not her fault, and I definitely thought they were all my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put myself in them positions, or, unfortunately, when I was a teenager, after I got away, no, before my first black eye, I lost 3 sisters to heroin, like I said previous, and they were in the depths of their addiction at that stage, and my mum dealt with that with alcohol.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'd come home from school on a Friday afternoon, and the house would be locked up and no one would be home. So that meant that I'd be gang raped for the weekend.
By who?
The Carlton boys. Yeah. So it was happening at school, lunchtimes. I was pregnant twice. The school knew. I was probably 12. Then no duty of care there. No one did anything really.
So the school knew you were being gang
Yeah.
raped.
Yes.
I mean, I'm in education, and that just shocks the living core out of me.
I can't fathom it. I cannot fathom it. And I've spoken to one of them lawyers, no win, no fee. And have a guess what the answer was, Andy? The answer was, "I don't think you'll have a claim because of the way you were raised." If you were, yeah. If you were raised like Mary Lou over the corner, that has 3 meals a day and a mum and dad, and, life's beautiful, you would have a claim. But because you were raised the way you were raised, I don't think we can help you.
That's disgusting.
So I'm going to take, isn't it? And so, like, even then, even though I was better, but like, where's the care for me? It's just me that had to do it.
Yeah.
I had to be the carer.
Where was everybody else then?
Well, Mum was dealing with three daughters that were on heroin, and so she was drinking a lot. She worked during the week. There was some good times there. There was some good times there, but I didn't let her know what was happening. I thought it was my fault. I thought I deserved it.
Did they know you were alone and that's why they were there?
Yeah. I was that girl with no big brother, no father, three drug addict sisters that everyone used to make fun of. Um, yeah, I was a prime target.
Fuck. I mean, I know I do want to come to your childhood,
Yeah.
but I do want to ask about the pictures you've got next to you with
Yes.
the boxing, because that's still part of how you're leading your own way. And
Yes.
but I think it does connect to what you've just said. Not that I want to jump subject or anything, but do tell us a little bit about your pictures, and it seems fairly obvious why you do it, but get into why you do what you
All
do.
right. So, left right hook is for survivors of sexual abuse, domestic violence, abuse on all different levels.
Yeah.
Here's something really funny. I didn't think I would qualify for that program.
Why would you not think that? I mean, why would you think that?
I just sexual abuse. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I was
Yeah.
sexually abused at 4, then 8. A man come to the flats and must have known that little girl looks really vulnerable. Let's choose her, and asked me to go and look for his puppy dog and made me do horrific things to him. And then by 11 to 13 were the gang rapes. So I don't know how I didn't think that I would qualify. I just thought the domestic violence was why I would qualify. Um, yeah, and it took a long time. It took about, where am I? It was about 17 years ago, and I was sitting in my psychologist's office and had that light bulb moment. Oh, that wasn't my fault. Yeah, that wasn't my fault. I, when Dad left, I put in my head that I'm an unlovable human that can't be loved. So I carried that, and that's why I let myself be treated like that. That's what I thought I deserved. I married my ex-husband in Pentridge when I was 19. He was 32. Murderer, rapist, bank robber. That was, once again, was so cool.
So
My
you knew
sister,
all of that.
I knew he was a bank robber. He hadn't murdered by then. I
Right.
didn't know that he was a very bad rapist and pedophile. He yeah, he raped my nieces.
And he's the
Yeah.
father of your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 children. My last perpetrator criminal is the father of my 5th child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So it's a
So
bit off track, but
yeah,
yeah.
no, it's okay. We're free to go off track, and I know, and it's my job to obviously we'll realign it, and I know we'll touch on it again. But so you entered the program, but the
Yes.
right hook program,
Yep.
and because this really what helped save your life as well, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So the founder of Left Right Hook had been in the 12 Steps program 20 years ago,
Yeah.
and she was the first person I admitted to that I was an alcoholic. She suggested AA, and I did go to AA about 5 times, but I don't get how we have to call ourselves alcoholics. That didn't sit with me. That was more of a trigger. I don't want to go in a meeting 5 days a week and say, Kelly, a reformed alcoholic or whatever. It didn't sit right. So I thought, okay. And then I worked with my coach, Big Chocky, and that took probably about 4 months before I stopped drinking. But with Left Right Hook, so what you do is you go into the class, you get prompts For example, a prompt that was really huge for me was times I stood up for myself. Wow. I would be black and blue in a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. And on the second class, I've done the program 4 times. The second class, that prompt come up, and we had to punch logs rather than the bag. And so you're down on your knees and you're punching a log, and I'm usually, waiting for that punch to come. And it didn't come, and this has been through Melbourne University. It's been on Netflix, the documentary. And it was life changing. I don't know how it's planned or how they work that out, but wow, I thought, okay, there's no one behind me, there's no one coming to hit me. And just let it all out on the bag. And after that finished, I sobbed for about 20 minutes, but they were like tears of freedom almost. And yeah, to talk about what we talk about in them rooms, wow. You would be told you can't talk about that because that's just too dark and deep. But this is
Brilliant.
reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of times when I've been, especially the gang rapes, oh, don't bring that up, you know. Yeah. Just punching that bag is freedom to me. I love it. It's just it's my thing.
Yeah.
So getting them words out and then going and taking them out on the bag, and then there's no repercussions. There's
Yeah.
just freedom. Yeah, it's a really well thought out plan, and they've just done their first men's program. So yeah,
Amazing. Do you
it was
still
a
do that
real
then?
well, I'm hopefully doing another one in April. I've just registered, and hopefully they'll put me in for
Amazing.
the fifth time. Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. And I do, during them classes, I share a lot, and I can see people's eyes and see them seeing, wow,
You're triggering their
okay.
light bulb moment.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah,
Love
yeah,
that.
yeah, so do I.
Yeah, amazing. And it's a sense of achieve. Yes, you're helping other people, but it fills your cup as well, doesn't it? And
Exactly,
it's not
because
selfish. It helps you. The brain works in loops, and compassion. People who are over empathetic, it doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't fix their hole. But being compassionate does. Pushing yourself in a
that's
physical
right.
position to help somebody else. The brain needs to finish the loop. That's why people who are show a lot of empathy actually go down. Some eventually can go into some deep depression because their brain's not
Yes,
finishing the loop. It's not taking
yes,
it to the next level, which we need to do more often.
exactly. And what I discovered was what is selfish is if I don't share my story.
100%. Oh, the
Yeah,
amount of times I've been
yeah,
told to stop going on about my story as well. Oh, by
yeah,
previous bosses. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
even get me
So
started.
we're meant to be here, mate.
We certainly are. We certainly are.
Yes.
On that note of changing your life then, and people being involved in your life who have helped change your life. I know the person, I don't want to mention the name of the program unless you want to,
Yeah.
the boxing left right hook program.
Yep.
But somebody else came into your life and helped change it. And this person is probably world famous.
Yes.
Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about, I'll let you bring that one in.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Shane Keith Warne. I have loved him. He didn't like me saying this one, but I've loved him since he was chubby with a mullet. He has been my idol. During them relationships, of course, that wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
Um, and I hadn't been out of my last relationship where I tried to take my life. It had only been about 3 months. So I still believe that a black eye was full of love. And I met Shane at Crown. He's seen my legs, and the rest was history. No, so we formed a friendship there, and I shared my story with him, and he just could not. it was unfathomable to him. He could not understand what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And he took me under his wing and helped me transform my life. It was just perfect timing. It was everything I needed. And because of him, the ripple effect is that my 5 children and my 5 grandchildren have a different life. This man taught me how to love myself again. He taught me that I was a beautiful person inside and out, and there is no way in the world that I will ever be treated like that again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like one of the luckiest people in the world to have him come into my life. Like, there is his shrine I have up in lights. I love Shane Warne. So much memorabilia. He did a gin. I've got bottles of that I don't drink.
I was about to say.
Yeah. Aftershave, like pictures of him and I together. Yeah, it's beautiful. And it's every day. I have an alarm set for 3:50. I have a few alarms set. That was his baggy green number. And I say, I love you, Shane. Thank you, Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just Jason and Aaron Hamill, Jason, his brother, Jackson, they're just doing podcasts at the moment, and I put a comment up about his heart machines. The first time I did that, my heart age was 66 and I was 54, and I thought, far out, I've got to
Yeah.
stop the drink.
Yeah.
But I didn't stop the drink. So that was really a life changer for me as well. And then I said in a comment that, I suffered 23 years domestic violence. My ex-husband tried to take my life, and it was Shane that put me on a new path and helped me transform that. And, I feel so privileged, so honoured. He'd be playing poker at Crown and tip his hat to me, and I'd go to the Stars games and always say hello. Yeah, we had beautiful memories together.
Beautiful.
Beautiful memories. Yeah.
Yes. And for those in the, he would have taunted England, where I'm from, very much so in the cricket. So for anyone who is wondering who Shane is, he's a world famous cricket player who played for Australia and ripped up England many, many times.
Yes.
But for people in America, he was a cricket player. Yeah. So
yes. Yeah.
I just had to mention that for anyone who didn't know who.
Thank you.
Who Shane was.
That was a pivotal moment in my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really was, because like I said, if it wasn't for Shane, there was no doubt 110% I was going to another bad boy.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Yeah. No doubt about it. So
you needed somebody like that, didn't you, to come into your life, and it was meant to be, I suppose. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and teach me that a black eye wasn't full of love and love shouldn't hurt. Yeah. And it was really, we both had the same saying to the children: manners cost you nothing and get you everywhere. So that was, I've taught the kids that all my life, and I had 4 children under 4, got rid of the husband and made it so much easier. But I'd always be complimented on my children's manners. So, lovely. that was lovely. Yeah.
Amazing.
I miss him so much.
I know. God rest his soul. Yeah.
So do a lot of other people. Yeah. God rest his soul. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks for sharing that. That was beautiful. And
no problem.
While we're on Shane, though, what do you think it was that? Can you remember that? I mean, I know it was all pivotal, but was there a clicking moment? What did he? Can you remember those little things that made you realize from his words that this is not love? These bruises are not love. What was it that he?
Love shouldn't hurt.
Oh, they were his words.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
What
okay.
are you talking about? What do you mean? Why did you put up with that? And I've got, from my ex-husband, I've got a scar here that was 4 cuts. And that was a lot more noticeable back then. And he just couldn't understand what I was talking about. Could not understand.
Good on you, Shane. Good on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go back to the Carlton flats then. You've
Yeah.
mentioned you've brought your childhood up a few times now, 4 years old and 13 years old and 12 years old. These men, these boys, gangs coming into your life, which is just unimaginable. I've been around council estates. I've grew up in Manchester, England. I've seen some bad parts. I've spent the summer in the Bronx. I know I've been to some crazy places in the world. So I can visualize it, but for those who can't, Carlton Flats here in Australia is a quite was. I'm guessing. Well, it's up to you to paint the picture because it might be different now, right, to
Yeah.
Carlton that it is today. But you did move around a little bit. You went to 10 primary schools due to mum not being able to pay the rent. Just paint that picture around that period of your life.
Okay, so by the time Dad left, that's where we lived in the Carlton Flats. And so prior to that as well, there was a lot of moving around, a lot of running from partners that used to beat her. I had 5 sisters. Like I said, 3 have passed, and
Yeah.
there's
Why
one,
did your dad
two.
leave? Sorry.
Well, Dad was a policeman, Andy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember you
And
saying, yeah.
yeah, and I was living, and Mum, we had a lot of criminal people in our lives. My sister was married to one of Australia's most notorious criminals, a man that had killed 13 people, sold $70,000 worth of heroin a week, and was paying the police to keep him out of jail. She married him in Pentridge 8 years prior to me marrying my ex-husband in Pentridge. Once again, monkey see, monkey do. How cool is this? Um,
So is that why your dad left there? Because he was a police officer living in these areas, he was an easy target?
no, Dad was married, unfortunately. So mum,
Matt.
mum was an affair. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So he didn't live
and
in the household then. He was married somewhere
no,
else and had you with
yeah,
her.
he'd come and go. Yeah,
And had
yeah,
how many? But he
unfortunately.
had 4 with you, mum.
No, 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 just me.
Just you. Sorry.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
just lucky me. Yeah,
So
so
you.
there's 6 girls, 4 different fathers. Yeah. So mum grew up commission and things like that and had no self-worth either.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So um, when Dad wasn't in the picture, life was yucky. Life was horrible. For instance, like I said, sitting at the window at 4 years of age to see if my sister's dad, there's two of them who he was their father. If he was drunk, Mum was getting beaten that night for sure. It was things as stupid as if the peas were next to the beans on the bloody plate, you can't have 2 greens next together. Whoosha, they'd go up to the roof or, in the wall or things like that. So no
Where's your
wonder.
mental health at if you are worried about that in life? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
fuck.
exactly. Yeah. I remember one day saying when he come in, see, he's not drunk, mummy. So you know what that meant for poor mum, didn't
Oh
it?
God, yeah,
Yeah,
poor, yeah. And
yeah.
you're innocent though, aren't you? In
Innocent,
this?
yeah, innocent little me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so and that photo you've got there of me in the little dress, I was flower girl.
This picture here.
Yep, yep, that one.
This will
I
pop
was,
up on the screen.
yeah, thank you. I was flower girl at my cousin's wedding, and as young as that, I think I was 4. Um, I thought I was marrying the man, and
Mm.
that dress ended up black because I hid under the table and cried my little heart out because I wasn't getting married.
Oh, oh,
I
oh,
don't know. Yeah. So as early as back then had been distilled in me to make
yeah,
me feel unlovable.
yeah,
It wasn't possible to be loved. And I still don't know what it feels like to be loved by a partner, but letting the kids in to love me, I don't need a partner to love me. I know what love feels like now because I've allowed it because of no alcohol.
yeah.
Um, so there were things like that. And then, like, for instance, when my dad was around, Dad would cook the dinner.
Your real dad now.
Yes,
So
Yeah.
he'd still come back to the house, still having the other life, but cook dinner and be like it
Yep.
was a normal family.
Yes, and even
Wow.
my sisters loved it when Dad was around because there was some normality, although I classed normality a cycle on the washing machine. Um,
But
you
he
know,
wasn't
there
violent, was he?
no way. He
He
was
was a
amazing.
wow.
Yeah, he was amazing.
What was
Yeah.
the longest stint he would be at your house then?
I think it probably might be a month or two, but like I said, he was a married man, so still come and go,
Yeah.
stay over and things like that. But yeah, he was, yeah, at different, at different times he'd come and stay with us.
He's a
Um,
huge missing puzzle, isn't he? I remember
yeah,
you saying a huge
yeah,
missing puzzle from your
yeah.
life.
It was that, and that missing Pete when Dad come into my life, when Adam Shan found him after the podcast.
I think you need to
Um,
tell us a little bit about that. Put that into
yeah,
context.
yeah, okay. So I did a podcast for with Adam Shand, 2000 and where are we? 25, about 220, I'd say. And the conversation started was um me still not feeling lovable.
Yeah.
And then he asked why, and I said, I think it's because when my dad left, I felt unlovable. So ever since he left when I was 8, I believed that I was an unlovable human being that doesn't deserve to be loved. And he said, "Who's your dad?" And I said, "Well, Dad was a copper." And he said, "Well, what's his name?" And I said, "Barry." And I know his brother's names. I know where he grew up. I believe that he moved to Western Australia. And Adam does a lot of crime reporting and books and stuff. And he said, "Do you want to find him?" And I said, "Oh my God, that's my dream come true." Um, and within a couple of hours after the podcast, he'd found him, but he waited a few days for the right moment to ring me and tell me. And while he's telling me, he's recording me, and it's part of the podcast. And I
I've got
just,
to up
yeah.
my game as a podcaster.
Yeah. It was one of the most, it's like I've listened to the podcast about 50 times and I still cry every time I hear it. Like I just broke down in tears of gratitude.
Absolutely.
Um,
Is that
and it
podcast
was,
still going?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It was the missing piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
It's, and I knew I was loved. Dad left because he loved me, not because he didn't love me.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's amazing to have him. I haven't met him yet. We speak on the phone very often. He lives in WA. And it really was a life-changing moment for me. Yeah, and just to be able to speak to him, and yeah,
What's that
it was,
relationship like now?
oh, it's amazing. Yeah,
Do you see do you see him?
no, I haven't seen him yet. Hopefully one day we
Oh,
will catch up. It's
I
it's
hope
a
so.
difficult situation on his side, but I hold no qualms there. He's my dad, and I love him, and um, my son is a spit out of his mouth. I have a photo of myself sitting on Dad's knee. I think I'm about 5. Yeah, and I remember the beautiful times. There was weekends when we'd go out or go away. Just Mum, him, and I. I've got photos of that, and I knew that he loved me. He left because he loved me. Um, and that was the missing piece of the puzzle for me to think, oh, okay, I am
Yeah.
a lovable human being. Yeah, so that was very, very special and still is to this day.
Oh,
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So you're getting a little bit older, and you're living in these Carlton flats, and people are coming and going, and you've gone through some difficult times. How does a child? I mean, I know we've discussed it's normalized behavior. You're accepting it, but when things are happening in the house and no one's around, and you're going through those rapes are like unthinkable. Oh, like how do you realize it's wrong at the time? No?
No.
I'm just trying to get
You,
my head around that part. You know, you're going to school, you're going to a safe place. I hopefully provide a safe place for the children at school. You know, I mean, I know it's primary school. Was yours high school or?
yeah, mine was high school. But, yeah. It happened so often, Andy, that I just, yeah, I thought I deserved it. You know, I had boys lining up.
Wow. Kellie's openness reminds us that recognising the signs of abuse and reaching out for support can be the first step towards transformation. If you or someone you know is struggling, know that you're not alone. Community and help are within reach. Connect with us, leave a review or share your own story. Let's break the silence together and rebuild a community of resilience. It's another way we can help lead our own way. Anyway, Tuesday Truths tomorrow, part 2 on Wednesday. Come back for Kellie Carter-Bell and myself. We'll see you then. Join us tomorrow to hear more from today's incredible guests and learn valuable insights to help you lead your own way. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you then.